Always great to get a campus experience. So thanks for hosting us here today. And I'll introduce Shobha ma'am, the other members of the chapter, just in a few minutes. All right, so what's our plan, right? I mean, this is kind of the informal welcome, so to speak. We're a small group, so if any point in time anybody on the Zoom link or in the room has a question, just feel free to just interrupt me or whoever is presenting, so that we can just have a dialogue. That's the entire idea of it. And so we basically have kind of I would say, three elements to the presentation. One is for those who are not familiar with the Internet Society, to do a little bit of an introduction. So Adarsh, who is our secretary of the chapter, is going to talk a little bit about the Internet Society as an overview. So we have a couple of slides there. And again, if you have questions, please feel free to raise them at any point in time. And afterwards, I'll come back and I'll introduce the chapter, all the core team members, the focus areas, what are the things we want to do this year, and try to motivate all of you to contribute. And then I have a good old friend of mine, Mithilesh Kumar, who's going to talk a little bit about AI and security. And afterwards, it will be mostly for the benefit of the people in the room, it will be mostly connecting here locally, just have a chat and get to know each other. But for the people who are online, it will be, you can connect on LinkedIn, Twitter, and the other forums, Facebook with us. All right, so for the plan, before we head in, so let me just quickly check the participants. Oh, we have actually a good number of people waiting in the room, so I'm just adding them to it. So there are another 4 or 5 people coming in, which is great. Okay. All right. I'll check in after every section a little bit of who's in the waiting room and admit more people. But we'll start with the first topic. And the first topic is going to be presented by Adarsh. He is the secretary of the Bengaluru chapter. And he's actually probably from this group, at least from the ones who have been founding the Bangalore chapter, probably the most experienced one of all of us. So we all lean towards him in terms of navigating of how to run this thing. But Adarsh, if you would just come and kind of take us through a little bit of background.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for the nice introduction. So it's a very Internet Society. So the name, as it itself tells, so it's a very professional community. So mainly it's a global community, global professional community, which mainly work for the standardized and the safer internet. So let's try to understand some, at least to understand, I try my best to give the better idea of the Internet Society, what actually it is. Yeah. So Internet Society organization is pretty old and the most standardized one. So this organization started in 1992. So it's from the father of the internet, the two of them. So Windsor from the Bob Kahn, so these two have started the Internet Society organization as in 1992, and we can see Windsor around us, and is also at present is a part of a Google, though is a member of the part of the Internet Society organization. So where we can, as a chapter, we can get an opportunity to interact and even in some other events as well. So that's how the Internet Society organization get started in 1992. And what is the main vision here? So to understand, the main vision is mainly, as you all can see over here, the internet is for everyone. So it could be the metropolitan city, or it could be in the rural or remote areas. So it has to be for each and everyone, the safer internet, and it has to be like an all the time, which is accessible for open for everyone. So that's the main vision. The internet is for everyone. For the internet society, it is working for. So what's the mission? So coming to the mission, so Internet Society mainly promotes the development of the internet as a global technical infrastructure with a lot of an development sector, with a lot of an contribution for the standardization of the internet in the global sector. So coming to, once the chapter has been started in 1992 till now, so what is our presence when we look into that sector? So we have an 88. This graph you all can see over the Internet Society website as well. The number of chapters will be obviously it will keep on changing. So at present, from a few months back, like in a month back probably, so we are also added as a new chapter, Bengaluru chapter, as a part of this map. So in the same way, the number of chapters are keep on increasing at present. You can see in our slides, it's like an 88 plus organization members are there, and 120 plus the global chapters. The similar way, our Bangalore chapter is representing the same way. The globally 120 plus chapters are there representing and being a part of an internet society to promote the standardization and safer internet. So we have like an 8 special interest groups, understanding groups as well, we call it as. Like in the upcoming slides, I will discuss about that in brief, what actually the special interest group or the standing groups it is. And we have like an 101,000 plus individual members globally, so who is like continuously contributing for the standardization of the internet as a part of the Internet Society members. So who we are, so this is from our from the members especially. So the global community is completely made up of thousands of energetic and enthusiastic committed individuals. The individuals means what I am just showcased in my previous slide. So 101,000 plus members. So the enthusiastic members are I can tell it like the backbone of the Internet Society to come up till this stage and to make the internet as a standard. So, and the organization is completely working because of the huge number of the global members and the individuals, and completely under partnered organizations and the volunteers, which is taking forward to make the Internet Society very, make it contribute for a standardized one. So looking into the this stack of the Internet Society members, so from the region-based Africa, the Asia-Pacific, Latin, Europe, or the North America, the different region-based ones, we have multiple members over there that has been listed out here. So we can find from each region. So from the Asia-Pacific, we have like 24,000 plus of the members. So this number, it will be like in daily, it will be keep on obviously increasing. So we can see like in 49% of the individual members also joined the chapter. So in Internet Society, there are 2 kinds of memberships are there. One is the chapter members, and another one is like a global member. So the 2 kinds of memberships are available. So we can take part in the different kind of activities over there, being as a part of the member, either for the chapter or as for the like a global member. So looking into the chapters list, so Bangalore chapter has joined this community, and we are also the part of the ISOC, the huge community. So in the same way, we have like in many around 120 plus chapters are there, the globally at present from the global different regions. So contributing for the standardization, it is kind of a learning from each of the chapters. So some it is like an understanding the issues, how they have resolved it, and how we can make it standardized in our region. So it's working on together the community, which is happening in between the chapters. So here we can see the special interest group. So as the technology keep on increasing, so the multiple interest groups are keep on coming up. So the same way, this is what Internet Society, other than the chapters, there's a special interest group. So what is the main difference here? So chapters have the boundary. So it is like a region-based one. but this special interest group are like in global wise. So they don't have any specific region, the limit in the specific of having the members. So chapters is mainly work for a specific region. As a Bangalore chapter mainly work for like in the all over the Karnataka region. So it will cover to empower the skills and also to contribute for the internet safer and standardization. But the special interest group doesn't have any kind of an limitation over the region. So it can, anyone can from the globally can be part of the special interest group. So 3 years back, there were many special interest groups. At present, we can see around like 8 of them. As the number of an interest group keep on increasing and the ISOC to handle those things, so came up with a new process of the community can choose what kind of an interest group could be run for the 2 years. So yeah, the special interest group at present, like in those who are running for the period, the lifetime of the special interest group will be 2 years. And again, there will be a call for the voting and call for the suggestion for the special interest group. So if anyone interested can suggest why can't this could be a new special interest group. So, and it will go for an voting in the global level for with all the members. So which ones will be the part of a special interest group for the 2 years. These standing groups will be like an continuously for the longer duration as like an we can see the accessibility, youth, and the gender. So these 3 are like an permanent special interest groups. So there will be no changing. But what are all the other ones we can see? These will keep on changing based upon the community interest. And the lifetime of the each special interest group will be like in kind of in 2 years. Internet Society organization members. So at present, like an Internet Society currently has like an 88 organization members, plus or minus in 30 in Europe itself. So organization daily like making use of an internet and utilizing the internet want to be part of the ISOC to be updated and to contribute for the standardization as well. Any kind of an organization can be take a step to be part of the ISOC to contribute for the standardization of the internet. So coming to the board of trustees, the main backbone is the members, but the board of trustees are not the, I won't tell, it's like a backbone. So the members are the backbone and the board of trustees will drive the complete organization. So there are like 12 elected members who can make the decisions with respect to the action items and all. So in the board of trustees, there are like 4 members by the chapters and 4 members from the organization members and 4 of them from the IETF, that is the Internet Engineering Task Force. So recently, the election board of trustees election has been completed as well. And how can the chapter can contribute? Chapter can keep raise their voice. So that's where the chat. So that is an chapter advisory council. So from each chapter, there will be one person. It will be a representative. That's what we call like an chapter advisory council member. So whatever their chapter interest, whatever their chapter members' interest, or whatever their chapter wanted to take and make a noise and to get it resolved. So the chapter advisory council member from each chapter will take part in the discussion and they can bring up this. So this is what I showed, this is what it has to be resolved. So these kind of discussions can be represented from each chapter. So the chapter have a place over there to raise their voice as well. So it's like followers. So those who are interested, like can to follow the ISOC _community, the tag. So in multiple social media, even the Bangalore chapter also we have like an ISOC Bengaluru chapter. So we are present in the Facebook and Twitter, X, and even in the LinkedIn. So you can take part and get a membership and can join our regular to be update on our WhatsApp group as well. So most of the details are available in our website. What's main focus for the 2025 as an like an Internet Society, the global organization concentrating towards the global overview. So looking into that, the ISOC will mainly concentrate to build like the build and the promote and as well as the defending the internet. So we can consider the internet is already standardized, but not for sure. So if we consider internet shutdown, so in India region itself, there are like 734 plus in the last 10 years, the internet shutdowns have been happened. So we can consider the major shutdown which happened in Jammu and Kashmir for like 133 days continuously. And even in Karnataka, where we have started the chapter. So recently, it's in 2019. So in Dakshin Karnataka, that's in the Bengaluru region, there's an internet shutdown. So we are telling that internet is like a kind of a rights and it's an internet is for everyone, but the government is like handling the internet. We can feel like it's in someone else's hand. And even a lot of regions are completely out of internet. So we can feel like internet is very well available, 5G, or we are enjoying the 4G and all. But the thing is like a lot of remote areas, for example, in Karnataka sector itself, 24,000 plus villages are there. And the point is like 600 plus villages are completely of zero internet. So even some of the regions are with internet, but the connectivity is very bad. The speed will be very bad. So that's what the challenges are facing. So the Internet Society organization, or mainly the main, as a part of a vision and the mission. So continuously working and focusing on the building this and promoting and the defending the internet parts. So we can see here, so build, promote, and the defend, which comes under the internet growth, is like connecting the unconnected. So where the remote or like rural areas, which is completely out of boundary, which doesn't have any internet feasibility. So that's where the Internet Society is continuously working on to bring in the connectivity to those regions. And also like enabling the sustainability of the internet and making sure it is safe for everyone. It's for even for the woman, even for the child, it is much more safer. And this is what the continuously which is happening. The Internet Society is continuously working and defending to make the stronger internet. That's what from my side to brief out. I hope I can brief out much some idea about and what is an Internet Society and the chapters and the special interest group. It is. Thanks. So now Patrick is going to give an overview about the ISOC Bangalore chapter. Thank you.
Why don't you stay here for a second? Then it's easier. I just wanted to kind of maybe I'll just jump one slide ahead so that I don't make a move. So I wanted to first start with the people who are actually the founding members of the Bengaluru chapter. And Adarsh is definitely one of them. So he has been, as I mentioned, right, the most experienced one in kind of the overall Internet Society. And I'm glad he's helping us to navigate our journey. And do you want to just anything more that people should know about you?
No, that's it from my side.
Okay. Besides that, he's sometimes very shy, but he actually isn't. So, but thanks, Adarsh.
Yeah, thank
okay. All right. Thanks for this. It was great. Couple of other members I wanted to introduce. Maybe first and foremost, Shubha Ma'am, our president, that hosted us so graciously today as well. And she has been also one of the founding members of the chapters, and together with Moti, one of our other officers, is kind of representing the educational sector as well at the same time. And just wanted to introduce her to you. Shubham, you want to introduce yourself for a minute? Oh yeah, sorry.
So good afternoon, all. So we have the founding members as listed here. So I am the part of the founding member. So I work for Ramalah Institute of Technology as a professor. So I also happen to teach the Internet of Things across the college. And I'm also trying to promote this platform in different perspectives as well. So I'm also associated with IEEE. And we have a communication society chapter, which is also working on the similar platform. So hopefully we will be getting an opportunity to tie up with them to get into the rural areas where we can take the internet facilities and then try to promote the internet activities as well as the security perspective into the younger generation. So this is what we plan to do. So as part of my day work, so I'm a professor, and as a professional activity, I am into IEEE and IETE as well as ISOC. So that's about me in brief.
Thank you so much. All right, Prasad. Yeah, I'll make you all come here upstairs. Everybody should know who you are. And just for the people on the bridge, it's easier. You just talk them up here in a second.
Good afternoon, all. Myself, Prasad. Thanks for the opportunity to be the treasurer of the founding member of ISOC Bengaluru. To introduce myself, I have been working in software industry for last 20 plus years. I worked for the organizations like DRDO. First 2.5 years, I was working for DRDO. Then I worked for Huawei Technologies. Now I'm working along with Patrick at Mitel under his leadership. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'll try my best to contribute so that our chapter can work towards its vision and mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Prasad. Thank you. All right, Moti.
Hello, everyone. Myself, Mr. Murthy, and I have been associated with the Internet Society since 2019, and I came to know about Internet Society from Mr. Adarsh. And thanks for joining me into the Bangalore chapter. And I'm working as an assistant professor in Presidency University, Bangalore, and also about to submit my thesis in blockchain technology. So hopefully I can just contribute well. So, and also I'm targeting towards, taking Internet Society into academia, more into. So thank you, Anand.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, PJ.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vijay Kumar. I'm a software engineer. I work with Patrick at Mitel. So close to 20 plus years of experience by now. This is Internet Society. I mean, I have heard about it before, but I have never been part of it. So far learned a lot from others from various meetings. So looking forward to learn from various other team members while actively contributing to the society. I think that's about it myself. Thank you so much.
Thanks, PJ.
Thank you.
Right, Rajan.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Rajan, and I'm associated in the software industry for last 20 plus years of experience. Really good to get associated with Internet Society, Bangalore chapters, and being a part of founding members. I request all of you to come and join us. We need a lot of good volunteers and active members to promote these chapters. And definitely, basically in two areas, I would like to urge all of you to come and help us. Basically, one is connect unconnected, and that is something which really personally I want to request everyone. Basically, today, if you look at the healthcare and all, that especially in the remote area in the villages where this internets we can promote and educate them. And second thing is probably Mithilesh will cover in some time, but that's one of the most important is the security aspects of the internets. So that's the two areas where I would definitely ask all of you to be part of our society. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Raj. All right. Okay. Yeah, just back to myself also. I'm Patrick, and I'm also probably as new as Rajan and a few of the others into the Internet Society, learning a lot from Adarsh and the rest of the members. A couple of things that are important to me, right? I'm just jumping back to the previous slide. We are really enthusiasts, right? All of us have different backgrounds. Some come from some technical background, some non-technical, some from the industry, sometimes from the education sector, right? But what all brings us together is that we want to do something that will help us in the connected world. We are all realizing that the internet is connecting everybody today. And so we want to see what is it that we can do and how we can help and form a chapter. And for us, it's all a new experience. You see here that all of us in the core team have different roles, but I think Adarsh described it nicely someday and says that everybody's going to do everything. And that's literally of how it is for us at the moment. We are just helping each other as a core team. We'll invite any other member who wants to join us to participate in our bi-weekly or weekly meetings. We'll share a little bit more about this later during the presentation. All right, but what we as a founding team really want to do is we want to get your support, that you join us in the society, that you support us as a core team, and that we'll try to grow the chapter. And once we have established a substantial operating size and cadence, we'll obviously make these positions available for others as well to attain and help out. All right, just real quick, right? So we heard about the Internet Society objectives for the 2025 roadmap, right? So we as a chapter also defined what's our focus for 2023 and 2024. It's not fixed in stone. It depends on the people and their interests, whoever is joining the chapter, and whatever they would feel passionate about is where we are going to focus. But from our perspective, there are three main areas. One is establish a community, right? Setting up the Bangalore chapter, and that's where we have been spending most of our time on. And we hope that today's session will help us to get a couple of more volunteers to help us on this journey. And we have set our objectives that we at least want to have 100 regional members in the first year. We still have a way to go. I would love it would be 100 active members, okay? I'm sure we are going to hit the 100, but even greater would it be active members who are participating in the activities. So we are working towards that, getting ourselves organized. We have set up a website, we have set up our social media presence, but there's lots of more things to do just to kind of operationalize the chapter, and any help is welcomed. The second focus is the two other focus areas besides, establishing the chapter is about strengthening the internet and growing the internet. And within that, we have a couple of focus areas. One is we want to particularly spend some time on digital safety and privacy. Some of us in the core team are very, very passionate about it and have given talks before on it. So we want to definitely spend some effort there. We also want to look at community networks. What is it that we can do within the state of Karnataka? One could argue there's a lot of good internet connectivity today, but there's still limitations. And I would be happy to debate with all of you about some of those improvements we can make. And then obviously we want to see with whom can we partner, right? One can do only that much. And for all of us, this is kind of out of passion we do this next to our jobs and other lives. So we want to see which other organizations we can partner to drive our agenda. All right, the way we organize ourselves, we came up with, and I hope this is readable, we came up with 5 initial committees that are within the chapter that are supporting those efforts. So we have the membership committee who helps to organize such get-togethers and also help to onboard people. We have a few people who spend time on promoting our chapter digitally, which is the public image, a part of the committee. We have one which is about partnerships and organizing events with other organizations together. And then we have the 2 other focus areas of community networks and digital safety and privacy. We have put in some names there, and the entire idea is that if you want to get started with it, you have somebody to contact to start with. Okay. We all believe that it's all a community effort, but as with everything in life, you need just somebody to kind of help to organize the group, right? So we have people here, and we might swap the names around depending on how much volunteers and exciting people we have for the different topics. Alongside these committees, we have actually listed down a few activities for this year that we are working through. And again, they're aligned with all the focus areas we are having. So we have the operationalizing the chapter effort, which we are right in the middle of it. We have the Build Community Network activity. We are planning to participate in the Indian School of Internet Governance, which is happening end of September, right? Right. And we are sending Rajan as a fellow from Bangalore towards the School of Internet Governance, and I know Adarsh is also planning to attend. We are planning probably towards in November, December, some collaboration with IETF Internet Engineering Task Force. Then we have a couple of more ideas that we are still working through. Maybe the last one I can touch upon briefly. In October, there is Global Encryption Day, which is heavily promoted by the Internet Society. So we are seeing what can we do there, and Rajan and myself, we have started planning for this, and anybody who would like to join us, we'll try to make this our first really bigger event there. Our idea is to have every month something, roughly. So that's our goal, so that everybody feels in the chapter, okay, something is happening. And so every month we try to get something. So in July we were formally founded, even though previously it took about a year or so to get there. But since July we are operational. And then August is now, we have the Community Connect, which is this group. Then we have the School of Internet Governance, the Encryption Day, and so on and so forth. We'll keep adding to it, and we'll find a way to publish this through our website and our social media channels. But it's a start, right? Somewhere you have to start. All right, that's actually as much as I want to tell you about the chapter. What we will do now, and I just checked, there's nobody more in the waiting room, but we are close to 20 plus people, which is great. So, what I would invite is I would say old colleague, but good friend as well, Mithilesh Kumar, who has volunteered to share some thoughts around AI and security. He works in the cybersecurity space, has some experience there, extremely capable engineer, so to speak. And I don't want to, steal his thunder, right? But don't expect like a full-fledged view of what's the landscape of AI and security is going to look like, right? He's going to leave us with an introduction to the topic, share some ideas and concepts. And the idea is to maybe after the session have a little bit of a discussion around it. So with that, Mithilesh, if you would like to come and join us here and maybe introduce yourself briefly, and I can just navigate there. Slides. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Mithilesh. Yeah, I work for Netscope, is a cybersecurity company and does cloud-based cybersecurity for the corporation. We'll talk more about that with the use case and example around the cybersecurity, but internet, right? I got introduced to internet back in 1999 when I was in my first year. Back in Patna, in a cyber cafe, getting an email address, 80 rupees for 1 hour, cyber cafe, right? So that's the story when we started with the internet, right? Now, back in 2023, our watch mostly has the internet 24/7 connected, right? So that's the progress we have been so far, right? And it's quite interesting. And, I've been through the journey, at least from 99 till now, and we have seen so much changes when we used to use telephone connections to use internet. And then it flipped around, and now we use internet to use telephone connections, right? So, exciting story there. I'll move the slide.
Yeah.
Okay, so AI, right? Hopefully, have you explored ChatGPT recently? Any of you? Okay. Have you heard about the memes about 2 + 2 = 5? And then confusing ChatGPT and convincing them that it's 5, not 4, right? So that's the advantage and disadvantage. So ChatGPT gives us so much advantage around, doing so much things that it takes time and effort that gives you ready-made and massaged, and then, or you do the research and you give it the input and it gives you very fine-tuned content that you want to refine and refine. At the same time, if it is not secured enough, then you see the side effect of 2 + 2 = 5, right? So that's where the security concept comes in. So what I have is a couple of slides with different perspective, okay? Perspective in the sense how AI system works, and, if you are building AI, how you want to secure it. If you are consuming AI, how you want to secure it, and we'll see how about that. So, when we talk about the risks and mitigation, so when we have the technology in place, which gives us so much advantage in, personal or corporate space, it also brings, risks that we need to worry about and take care. That risk is around data privacy and protection, right? So if you are using AI system, it has to make sure that the data that it consumes or brings in from various sources is secure, right? So that you win the trust there. It is prone to adversarial attack. As any system, you can poison the data and manipulate the outcome, right? There are vulnerabilities in the model itself, right? During training, somebody can, trick the training data itself that creates the biased result that you see in the next one, right? Then everybody is building AI system today. So any company you refer, everybody is saying we have AI enabled everything, what you name it, and there is a lack of interoperability, right? If you build a model on, system X, will that work on system Y, and how it can be leveraged? Otherwise, it is in isolation of islands that you can use up to a certain extent, right? So there is a thought process that needs to be taken care when we are building, right? How we can extend it so that it can leverage and interconnect across different systems. Supply chain, corporate, that's the biggest concern. No software is being built by one particular component, right? We have tons and tons of components that we take from open source, from third-party paid and all. And that's where like you're building AI system, but I'll give you an example, right? We're talking on Zoom. Probably Zoom uses AI to enhance the background and so on using probably NVIDIA, right? Now, NVIDIA is the engine, processing engine that does all the AI in the background, and Zoom kind of does in the front end. So if the NVIDIA gets compromised, the entire supply chain of whoever is consuming gets compromised in that shape and form, right? So interface attack, there would be interfaces. For example, ChatGPT gives you the front-end interface like user. They also have an APIs they give you. And then they're building the interfaces where they get the data to train it, right? So everywhere there are interfaces, there would be backdoors, front doors, and we have to make sure those are protected so that we can deliver the secure system for people to use. Yeah, robustness. That's the example of 2 + 2 = 5 sometimes, if you don't make it robust. I was playing yesterday with ChatGPT more, and I was telling like my teacher trained me to make 9 + 9 = 21. Is that right? Can you help me understand if that logic was wrong or right? And I kind of played around with 20 different questions. And at the end, every time the ChatGPT would be answering me like, maybe your teacher is having some perspective in a particular spectrum, but in standard is 18. So I tried to like, let me go back, and I told like, my teacher gave me a question and I answered 21 and she gave me full marks. So now you're saying 18. So how is that? They keep on hearing me, but every time convinced like, no, that would be certain situation, creativity, perspective, anything and everything, but it is never 9 + 9 = 21. So see, so these are the things, there are side effects. So it has to be robust enough that if people try to break it or mimic it or mislead it, if it is not enough robust, it can fall for the loopholes, right? So those are now we'll talk about the attacker's perspective, right? So like the consumers or the technology providers are having advantage of building system and giving them to users, attackers are also using the same AI system, right? So it's not that only we are using AI system and for the betterment of it. We have seen the example, right? The deepfake videos, like somebody can, mimic the video of someone else, and it is so near real that it's difficult to identify if that's real or fake, right? So now we have to think about building AI system that detects such deepfake as well, right? So there would be some AI system which enables you to build something. There would be AI system to detect, to make sure it is authentic or fake, right? And we have something that I work in the area of corporate security. I'll talk more later, where we make sure how we can detect something like that. And rest of the information, right, that you see is general security terminology and concern that applies everywhere, including AI system, right? Like voice and speech spoofing. Very classic example of voice spoofing. You will see these spam calls like claiming I'm from such and such bank and so on and so forth. And sometimes they spoof they mask their voices. So I was listening to one of the conversation. One guy recorded this spam call, and the caller keeps convincing, but this guy understood this is spam. They started doing a video recording, and at the end he was like, I know you are a spammer and all. And then opposite side guy says like, and this guy says, I'll post this video to everyone so that people understand you are doing scam. And then that other side guy says, I'm using voice masker, so the number is international, so nobody can catch me and those sort of things. So people are already using this kind of technology and tools to do bad things, right? So that's the attacker's perspective. Attackers are also utilizing AI to attack the system and exploit the people. Okay, so when we are building security product or tools, right, or when we are building technology to protect AI system, how we think about it, right? So I'll give you an example. Now we see a Google Mail which will have a spam filter, right? So you see there is a dedicated spam folder automatically enabled and the priority folder and all. How does that happen? So Google is learning and creating a model through which they can apply filter such that they detect, what is priority important and which one is. So even though we don't realize that underneath in the background, there are AI systems working in our day-to-day life that we use the system and tools and, malware detection. So if antivirus, we know right now we are antivirus and malware. They now use AI engine along with the signature. So far we learn like antivirus works on signature. First you get the signature, then if there is something with that signature on your system, antivirus picks it and does the action. But nowadays there are antivirus with AI models such that it is trained, even though it's not up to date, and based on the behavior of the malware, it detects. And advantage of that is they can even detect the 0 day, right? Because with the signature based, probably you won't be able to detect the 0 day. So that's another example of detecting and using AI system, right? Phishing and fraud. We have been seeing those SMS fraud, email fraud nowadays. Like they'll give you even a Zoom link saying, "Hey, your boss has joined." So, for example, in our own corporate, we have a training program where we have a simulation of phishing for our own employees. So, very often every employee will get an email saying, "Hey, our CEO joined the call. Can you join to this Zoom link?" Now the basic crafting of spam is going to so detail, like you can use ChatGPT and other AI-enabled tool to craft the spam message itself. So it is not just like mimicking the, let's say, banking site. They might also do like scripting and coding. So if there are detection engine which scans the HTML page or whatever renders, right, they won't be even able to detect this, phishing content, because when the script executes, then it gets dynamically downloaded, right? So you need to system now to detect those dynamically. So those are around spamming and phishing area, right? User entity behavior analytics. How do you know if, let's say, some employee is leaving your company and you want to monitor if they are not stealing something, right? Or not taking with them something which is business critical. How would you monitor that? So usually when somebody says in the company, "Hey, my team member is leaving," put them into monitor. So now what does that mean? So we have the technology in place where we monitor like the behavior of the user. Are they downloading something that is not relevant? To take it out, right? How much content they are downloading, what activity they are doing. So you can do, so the user and entity behavior analytics gives you the the uses of particular user or the entire company you want to monitor what time, who is using what, right? And accordingly, you can enable them. Sometimes you say like people comes to office every Tuesday. So most of the folks in company today, like in my organization, we try to come on Tuesday for sure. Then company can understand, okay, so we can enable more facilities on Tuesday rather than, all other days. So there are various easy to use cases, which otherwise looks very complex, but even in our day-to-day stuff, we are using it, security chatbots, right? There are chatbots enabled where you can, dedicatedly talk about security, privacy, and so on and so forth, Auditing and compliance, it is important to monitor all of this, and nowadays you have analytics. Analytics or reporting has gone through so many iterations of the journey, right? Earlier, you would have a email reporting, then PDF reporting, then that's dashboard reporting. Then you have a dynamic dashboard. Nowadays, based on your users pattern, they can readjust on the UX. So sometimes you are using top 10 issues, then after, many times of that particular report, automatically system detects, okay, for this person who is playing, for example, the role of CTO, CEO, or CISO, this is how their dashboard will look like versus somebody is an engineer who has to monitor how many activity they are working upon and so on and so forth. So this is the perspective when we have to defense it, right? Now the end user perspective, right? So you and I, right, who are using the technology in the form of AI, who are building the technology in the form of AI, but still we have our own personal life that we have to be aware and be, secure enough to make sure the AI-based system is not breaking our own stuff, right? How do we do that? Basic principle. We have so many devices now. We have to make sure it is up to date. If not, even your Wi-Fi router at home that we kind of buy and forget, once it starts working, we don't do anything, right? And many times you see that those becomes the entry point to do botnet or kind of DOS attack that is in many GBs across the globe, right? So they get into your device and then they use those devices in the form of bigger attack. I mean, even though it doesn't look and, not impacting you and I, but you never know, our devices are being used to do something like that. Authentication, right? All of us uses so many application and services, we use login and password, right? Sometimes we don't even change it all. Sometimes, there are dark waves now, there are data breaches, and the dumps are getting into the hands where this can be used as a commercial vehicle so that your account information can get used and so on and so forth, right? Two-factor authentication. There are many different way of two-factor authentication. I'll still take the simple example like our Gmail and all. Sometimes if you open Gmail on a new device, I'll give you my example. When I open my Gmail on a new laptop or machine, it says two-factor authentication. Go on your mobile phone, open YouTube, and they will show some numbers on the new location, and they say on YouTube there would be a pop-up saying what number that gets displayed. So it's not always like you have a dongle or fob or that kind of two-factor, but nowadays the factor is getting used in different shapes and form, and one of the example was that, right? App permissions, that's the one, Nowadays we use so many apps. It's easy to give SSO accessing. The app is saying, right, you can hook your Google account and get logged in, right? We log in, we do everything what we do. After that, we don't remove that access, Google account access with that application. So it's forever there. So even though you used a service only once, but if you are not removing the permission with that application or sites, they are still reading all the information that is permissible in that access throughout. So many times we forget to disconnect the access, right? Privacy setting, Android, right? Until you do put effort on privacy setting, they will be taking tons of your data throughout 24/7, right? So phishing, I mean, we talked about the corporate level. On the personal level, you always get email now, even on WhatsApp, you get like all of a sudden, hey, can we talk? Recently, this week, I got like my Aadhaar card. I requested for changing my address. I never did that, and I got an SMS. So all I do is I go to my Aadhaar app and see if I did anything or is my biometric logged or not. So if, for example, Aadhaar is the simple one, right? If you use Aadhaar and if you haven't checked if your biometric is not logged or logged, there is a chances of that getting misused, right? So if you're not using biometric, probably you go there and kind of log it, right? AI generated content, right? This is big debate in academia and industry both right now because of ChatGPT, right? Should this be used? Should this not be used? How much and how far, right? That's where my company, I'll just try to give you the real example what we do. So in the industry, they are not blocking it, but they are expecting to know what people are doing with AI, ChatGPT, for example. So there is a very simple, easy firewalling. If you say, okay, I don't want to allow it, so just write the rule and it will block it. Or you say, I want to allow it, it will be by default allowed. But corporate is more worried about their own corporate data, the sensitive data, the IP, the code, all those things. So they don't want to block it. Otherwise, there is a whole sort of ecosystem that is being built and being used is not usable. So what we have built as a capability in our security product is when some of the employee try to use ChatGPT and they want to paste PI, personal data, right, of the corporate and inquiring something, or sometimes you write an email which has some content which is IP, and you give it to the ChatGPT saying, hey, can you reformat it for me, make it more presentable and all. The system detects real time the content of that post, and if it has anything that violates the policy, be it PII, financial data or any kind of sensitive data, the source code or anything, it will detect it and then warn it, saying, hey, you are sending something that is against the policy of your corporate. Are you ready to own the risk? If not, stop. So it's not just the black and white saying, hey, you can't use it versus, hey, you're free to use it. For the corporate, it is important to know at what level we can allow to use it and where the boundary starts, right? So those are the capabilities like where I work. Those are business needs saying, hey, you can securely enable ChatGPT to your employee. That's one example. Educate yourself about AI. I know we talk about ChatGPT, but there are around right now in our company, we track around 150 different AI systems, not just the ChatGPT, to detect the data loss prevention and all sort of things. And each of them works for different purposes, right? So it's not just like LLM. There are so many other use cases. We use AI for even detecting such data loss, right? So sometimes suppose the technology allows you, if you want to upload, let's say 40 MB file in a system, the technology gives you you can chunk it to 10 MB so that the upload is faster. Now, in such cases, how you detect? So the PI, personal data or sensitive data are getting chunked. So how would you be able to detect such misuse, right? So we have system that has the capability to even detect in the chunk. Many times we use email and just save as a draft. You can save as a draft on one device, open that into another device, mail never gets sent. How your system will detect that? So these are the smaller use cases, but even that is applicable for individual. For us, if we save on Gmail something on one device and open on another device, how do you know, right? So if the device is compromised and so they can have those access, right? Personal data sharing, I mean, that's easier. You share the personal data and forget. So as an individual, we have to share some photographs on G Drive to somebody. We say, hey, here's the URL. You enjoy. And that remains forever, right? But turn that into the corporate world. Now, corporate doesn't want to give a link for certain information forever. So how can you do that to protect? So we have a system which generates a dynamic URL and never gives the real URL to you. And they set the timer of 15 minutes. You can get the information in 15 minutes. If not, that's gone, right? So these are the basic use cases. Monitor financial transactions. We do daily transactions. UPI is a great example, right? And now you see all the scams coming towards us saying, I will give you the money, but they keep convincing that you enter the PIN and money will come to you while it is reverse, right? So all of these now, the reason we say the AI safety here is ideally AI should not be visible. So until we were doing the ChatGPT kind of story, it was invisible to end user. It was always behind the use cases. Because just ChatGPT gave an interface to user, it is having a different experience. Otherwise, AI has been there for years. Like Zoom example, our background masking and all those things is being done by AI, right? So the end user perspective, the scam is happening through the modified, the voice masking example and all. So if you don't trust somebody or you have some suspicion, probably you can call back, dropping those and so on, right? Cybersecurity, it's never 100%, right? So as we progress, the new use cases will keep happening. We have to keep working on overcoming those vulnerabilities areas and improving the security. Okay, I think that's all around the topic. Any question, we can talk. All good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Just the last segment that we have, and it's going to be a short one, and then we'll probably close the virtual event and then just chat and connect here locally a little bit. All right. I promised that I'll share a little bit of how can people contribute, right, if they're interested to join our efforts. And we came up with, we wanted to share 4 different things. So the core team that I introduced, we, depending on the need, we are meeting once in a week or every other week. It's changing. The last couple of weeks, we have been meeting every week. But at least feel committed to meet as a group once every other week. So if you're interested to join and help at the core committee level, trying to see what are the activities we want to work on, every member is welcome. Just reach out to us. I put in there our email address, maybe the easiest one, but you can use on the WhatsApp group as well or social media to connect with us. And we are happy to have you even listen in if you just want to listen what's going on there. Our objective is for the committees, for the 5 committees, as we get a few more members that are working on it, is to meet at least monthly, ideally a little bit more frequently. But we said, okay, at least we should get a chance to meet monthly within the committee to work on the different areas. So these were our committees from membership, public image, the community networks, digital privacy, and partnerships. So these committees, if you are interested in any of these, or if you have something else you're passionate about it, just let us know and or post it on the WhatsApp group, and we'll see who all is interested, and we'll help you to facilitate some effort there, as long as it aligns with our bigger agenda of the Internet Society, of course. One other thing is that even though I've mentioned previously, we try to do every month some type of an event or some type of an activity. So we'll continue to work on that. But once every quarter or so, we'll try to do something a little bit more formal, right? Just inviting all the members, give some updates on what all is happening across the different committees, what are the next things we are trying to do, and we'll invite people to speak at those get-togethers, right? We named it for now Community Connect Meetups, but we might come up with some more creative wording later. And then the last thing you can obviously do if you want to be a little bit more passive at the beginning, you can just watch for updates on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter or X, or our WhatsApp group, and chime in whenever you have a question or a suggestion, or just see something that's interesting and relevant. As I said, right, we are really at the beginning of our journey. So every start is requires some effort from everyone. And I'm sure in a couple of months from now, we are going to be much more smooth and in our efforts. So, but that's kind of what we wanted to share with you. Unless there's anything else from one of the core team members that I kind of missed out, or any direct question on the Zoom chat, Zoom bridge. All right, if there's nothing on the Zoom chat, so I would probably, will I share the slides? Yeah, sure, of course I can do that. We'll share them this weekend or latest by Monday on the to all participants, and on the WhatsApp chat we can share it. All right, one of us will send it out. All right, thanks Bharat for the comment and encouraging word, and thanks all for joining in. And please reach out, and here in the room we'll have a little bit of a more chat and see what questions people might have. But for now we'll sign off, and we'll hope to see you or meet you virtually soon. So thanks everyone. I'm just stopping the virtual session then for now. Have a great weekend.